Hello everyone. The time has come to prepare your research article for its final revision. It's been a long journey, and now I want to give you 9 pointers to help you make the strongest possible draft to submit for your last run through before your final submission. 1. Read the rubric and revise with the rubric in hand. In response to your second draft, I have given you feedback based on the rubric that I will be using to grade the last drafts of your paper. Use that feedback in conjunction with the rubric itself. You should be aware of its guidelines inside and out. Shoot for the exceeds column in each category. 2. Make a checklist for yourself and follow it. You know best what you need to do to address those errors or issues that you commonly have in your writing. List them out and check for each. Even better, look at Chapter 11 in They Say I Say's 4th edition entitled He Says, crossed out, contends, unquote, which begins on page 154. In the 3rd edition, it starts on page 139. The chapter not only provides several questions you might want to ask your paper one by one, but it provides templates from the book to help you address issues associated with those questions. Some of the questions are, how do you present what others say? And what do you say? These basic questions, as you will see, speak directly to important parts of the rubric, and if you go through your paper with the chapter in mind, you'll certainly find excellent ways to improve your paper. Some other important items on the They Say I Say list ask you to think about how you've approached naysayers or those who disagree with your argument. Think hard about how you're arguing against them. Are you avoiding logical flaws or fallacies? Are you using evidence clearly and coming to logical conclusions? Are you giving opponents the benefit of the doubt when they deserve it? Pointer number 3. Don't be afraid to make significant changes, even at this point, especially regarding tweaking your thesis, the focus and foundation of your argument. If you're questioning the ideas you're about to put into the world, you want to address that now. A couple weeks ago, when I talked about some revision strategies of novice versus professional writers, note that while novice writers often just changed around words and phrases, professional writers use revision to rethink their ideas and sometimes rewrite whole sections. Don't be afraid. Be like the professional writers. Pointer 4. Synthesize. Show how the various sources you've been using speak both to your thesis and to each other. In other words, now that you have a draft and can take a bird's eye view of it, make some connections among the works. What you don't want is to present a thesis and then follow that with a summary of each of your sources. This is a great time to rearrange the ideas in your paper to best serve your point. Perhaps you want to bring some voices together to speak to each other. Perhaps others need to be farther apart. Explain to your readers how the different pieces of research you've brought together speak to each other and to your ideas. 5. Related to 4. Think about how your argument unfolds. Do you pose a problem and then suggest solutions? Do you give readers several angles of your problem? Think about your outline and how you have your argument arranged. Does it make sense to you? What logical order can you impose? And again, don't be afraid to shift things around. Sometimes moving a paragraph or adding a topic sentence can lock a whole argument into place. 6. Take another look at your beginning, ending, transitions, and title. You can feel free to go back to the video on introductions, conclusions, and transitions at any time. But you should make sure you're grabbing your reader's attention in the beginning and giving them something to think about at the end. Also, since you have a draft in hand, it helps to read through it once just for the purpose of adding words and phrases that show the relationships among ideas. This added layer of connective tissue will help your readers greatly. 7. Point out the shortcomings of your project if possible. Think about what you might have missed. What did you fail to find in your research? What do you still not know about your subject, argument, project? Don't be afraid to address these things. It will only strengthen your ethos, your ethical appeal, your credibility. 8. Edit. Check carefully for grammar and usage errors. Make sure you've struck that balance between using academic language and establishing your unique voice. Think about punctuation, pace, paragraphing, the use of details and evidence. Double and triple check that you're using MLA format, that you've incorporated quotations effectively, that you've created an MLA formatted works cited page. 9. Have others read your work. You've already had the benefit of this with the first 2 drafts, but that does not mean you need to stop now. Reach out to Ask a Tutor and work with one of the tutors. Email a classmate for another look. Ask a family member or friend to read your paper and give feedback. And ask them to be as critical as they can muster. Any criticism they give your paper, if it comes from a place of honesty, will ultimately help you make it better. So that's it. Use the rubric. Make a personal checklist and use the they say, I say checklist. Don't be afraid to make significant changes. Synthesize the ideas of others. Think about organization and possibly reorganize. Look at the beginning, the ending, the transitions, and your title. Point out shortcomings. Edit for grammar, usage, voice, and MLA formatting. Have someone else read your work and offer an honest critique. Okay, that's it, folks. Happy revising.